500 Open Tabs. I'm Hannah Hillam.
And I'm Kaveh Taherian. Welcome back to the show. Hannah, how you feeling today? I know that you were up late last night watching a movie that your husband and my wife and I all bullied you, and Alyssa all bullied you into watching. Here's
the thing. He's not kidding about that. Last night, let's set the scene, okay, everybody? I was dutifully working on my tab. Type in bed next to my husband. And he was like, when are we going to watch a movie? And I had told him that you guys wouldn't shut up about Send Help, the movie Send Help.
Fun. Yeah.
And he's like, I bet if I texted, or I bet Kaveh would tell you to just not do your tab right now and watch the movie with your husband. And I was like, whatever, text him. I bet whatever. Try me.
What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. I was so focused on my beautiful tab that I barely even thought. So
no, it's funny because I'm just hanging out on the couch with Sarah. I guess I don't remember what we were watching. I don't even think we were watching anything. I think we were just hanging out. And the fact that your husband texted me and be like, here's an opportunity to bully Hannah right now. I'm like, obviously I'm going to take it.
He handed it to you and he sent an unflattering photo.
It was
I'm
an
like, bro,
alley-oop. Yeah, it was pretty unflattering. I was going to say, you should probably delete that from existence.
Oh, I tried. So I caved and we watched Send Help and it was good.
Yeah,
it was scary and fun. It was crazy.
I enjoyed that movie. It was a fun ride. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I said, it was like this. Like every second of the movie, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen next. Yeah. Genuinely couldn't tell you.
Good job. I'm proud of you. You've watched a movie that's come out in the past 6 months now, so now you're somewhat up to date.
Whoa.
Maybe I can even reference something that's contemporary. Yeah, famous workaholic Hannah Hillam, always hitting deadlines.
Hey, if we count motherhood, I'm working 24/7. All right,
that's true. You are.
Okay,
your full-time job is being
I'm gonna pull that card. Be like, actually,
okay, mother boy, I get it. Okay, Lucille Bluth. Yes.
I don't care for Job. Okay. Well, yeah.
Cool.
How are you doing, dude?
Great. I'm fine. I'm just glad you got to watch the movie. I don't have anything to update. I actually just wanted to get into my tab because I'm worried it might even go a little bit longer than usual because there's a lot of stuff to cover.
I'm worried that mine will too.
You're worried that you have to listen to somebody else speak for once. Get all your yawns out now before I start, Hannah.
Here. That's how people yawn, right?
When you were like, did you know that I don't even do it anymore? I just hide it from you. And I'm like, Hannah, I can still tell. It's very obvious.
I've learned,
you do a closed mouth yawn.
I have learned to yawn with my mouth closed.
Yeah, you look like a puffer fish.
It does not look like that.
It looks worse than yawning. It's like, at least if you yawn, I can relate to it. But I'm like, what did she do? Did a grenade explode in her stomach after she ate it by accident because she thought it was a rotisserie chicken? Like, what is happening?
You know me, lover of rotisserie chicken.
Straight up Looney Tunes.
You know what? I can't say anything about that. Besides, I would never eat a rotisserie chicken. I'd just eat a grenade. That's where you draw
the line. Grenades you would.
I would eat a grenade instead. Anyway, tell me what you have.
Okay.
What do you have?
So, let's see. A couple of weeks ago, I was chatting with our friend Tyler from back east. Remember Tyler?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler's the best. Shout out. He'll probably be very excited that I mentioned his name on the show.
Hi, Tyler.
Of which he probably doesn't listen to, but he knows that it exists. Anyway, Tyler, shout out. And he sent me these funny Chewbacca sketches that looked like they were drawn in a courtroom, kind of like Chewbacca was on trial or something. And it was funny. And we were sort of shooting the shit. And I asked him, have you seen the Diddy courtroom drawings? Which he hadn't. And I sent them to him. And his response was, these cannot be real. That was his direct quote.
My goodness.
Have you seen them?
Okay. No, I haven't.
Oh, my God. All right. They're incredible. They're the most beautiful, incredible pieces of dramatic art I've ever seen. And then I remembered that I'd been meaning to, for a long time, read more about the history of courtroom sketch artists. And that is how I arrived at my tab today.
Beautiful. I've always wanted to be, at some point, have one opportunity to be a sketchroom. Sketchroom? You
have had an opportunity, or you did do it?
I've always wanted to have at least one opportunity to be a courtroom sketch artist, because some of those are amazing, and then some you're just like, who let this person in here?
They're I can incredible. Do this. The art of courtroom sketching goes back as far as the trial of Mary, Queen of Scots, but its modern incarnation begins as a direct reaction to the infamous crime of the century. The kidnapping of the Lindbergh baby created a media frenzy so intense and so rabid that upon its conclusion, the American Bar Association banned any kind of photography from courtrooms, providing an opening for sketch artists to step up to the plate and offer their skills to the gossip-hungry public.
Okay, so it took a kidnapping of a 2-year-old to curtail America's rabid fascination with death and murder.
I mean, I don't think it really curtailed it. It just made it so
but
they wouldn't have cameras
it made
inside
a
the
lot.
courtroom.
Like no more taking photos of this person who killed this 2-year-old.
Yeah. But don't worry, I'm going to cover all of that on today's episode.
Goodness.
So get ready.
You mentioned Mary Queen of Scots. That's like 500 years old, dude.
Yes, it is. Of course you would know about Mary Queen of Scots because it happened in Great Britain. All things that happened in Great Britain.
It happened in Scotland. You uncultured. Actually, no, it did happen.
All of them.
It did happen in London. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I take it back. She was a prisoner in London. It doesn't matter. Go on. Please don't make me a laughing stock of you.
Of me? Please don't.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not doing it. You're doing it yourself.
I know,
anyway,
I know.
there are examples, of course, throughout art history of paintings or drawings of famous events that happened in court. One could argue the most famous trial of all is that guy, that Jesus guy that you really like. There's a lot of those. Josh exactly.
Christ, yeah.
Josh Christ, plenty of artwork of him. You know, some would say maybe too much, maybe too. There's a bit of an obsession about him.
There's an onslaught. It's like there's a glut of Jesus Christ artwork. We should probably chill a little bit.
Yeah, or at least do like different stuff of Jesus
make him ugly,
doing stuff.
like we talked about.
Make him ugly. Listen, sometimes people should be drawing pictures of him going to, what was it, Shingo in Japan? That was
Shingo, Japan, retiring
the earlier
to
tabs.
Japan.
That's where he retired. Look into one of our early episodes where I talk about how Jesus actually switched out his body with his twin.
Oh, yeah.
His evil twin.
And then
he retired in the north of Japan and had like a garlic farm and raised 3 daughters and lived to the ripe old age of 90.
Yeah. There's a grave there, so it must be true.
It's true. It is true. Anyway, so lots of stuff about Jesus, but one of the earliest examples that I kind of was thinking works as courtroom sketches is the trial of Mary Queen of Scots.
All right.
And, whatever.
She got a trial?
I know the name and the trial or whatever, but like, I didn't really want to get into it too much. Something, white people. There's all this stuff, treason. I don't really care. But there's art and it's cool. No treason, so I'm going to send you the first of many pieces. And those of you who are listening to this episode, you're going to want to try to go and check out the YouTube because it's going to be a very visual heavy, a lot of references visually that you're going to want to look at because, of course, we're talking about the history of an art form.
I have nothing
so look
to
at
say.
this drawing. It's pretty cool. Why don't you describe it to the audience?
Whoa. Yeah, this is a legit court case. So it's a big, long courtroom, and there's like 1 billion people in there. And she's sitting in a chair, and you can see Queen Elizabeth out in the hallway about to come in and pass the sentence. And there's like a bunch of,
I think it's the opposite. I think that's Queen Elizabeth sitting in
Oh, you're right. Queen Elizabeth is sitting in the chair, and Mary looks like she's cuffed and about to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's 2 people like being scribes. And then there's, I want to say, they're numbered, like 25.
There's numbers next to all the people.
25 judges or like magistrates or something. And then there's a bunch of people in the courtroom watching, which is where I would be.
There's like, I don't know, they're like noblemen or whatever. I don't know what all these people are. I did find a cool article that sort of broke it down. But again, in the interest of time, I'm like, this is not about Mary Queen of Scots. But
this is cool.
I think this is cool because it's interesting because functionally it's like taking note of the specifics of the trial rather than like a dramatization for the sake of story.
Well, and you can tell that the person drawing was up high, like on a balcony or something, looking down, I want to say.
Yeah. I mean, it also might just be that they didn't understand perspective yet because that didn't really happen. So everything was kind of flat from that era as well, if you know a little bit of your art history.
I thought it was a little earlier that was kind of flat, but this is,
I think this is where they're starting to kind of figure it out a little bit.
You're right,
but, But it might also just be from up top. I don't actually know the exact place where the trial was held.
This is crazy.
But to my point, though, it's interesting because, a lot, kind of what we were just talking about a second ago of like all the Jesus trials and paintings. It's meant to function as like drama. It's meant to function like the movie of its day of like you could go visualize like what the trial of Jesus Christ might have been like, and the painting's dramatic and there's dramatic lighting. It wouldn't have necessarily been how it was staged in the specifics. Beyond, I mean, obviously in the Bible, the specifics are there, but it wasn't necessarily about the trial as much as it was about the story of Jesus, which is in this case, there's like painstaking detail taken in to be like, okay, here are all the different people that were there. Here's where they were seated. Here's what the layout of the room was. So I think of it more as like, you're kind of like a drawing journalist or like a documentarian rather than a straight like artist, if that makes sense.
It's truly like courtroom artist. That's what this is. It's like, here's an exact documentation of what I'm seeing rather than something dramatized, like you said. This is cool.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people tend to be like, oh, a courtroom artist is more of just like what's the difference between that and like a sketch artist doing like caricatures or something? Not that they would necessarily do it that dramatic, but it's like it has a very specific intention. It's not just there to be like, here's a drawing of OJ. It's like, here's this moment that's trying to be captured.
OJ was at Mary Queen of Scots' trial? Yeah. That's crazy.
Can you believe it?
Dude, he was there? The glove?
He was there proving his innocence. Yeah,
that beautiful, dainty little white glove that a queen would wear.
He's all, if I did it.
If I did it. Which everyone's like, who is this guy? Anyway, go on.
Anyway, I thought you'd like that one.
We all tune in to watch the like white Bronco, except it's not a Bronco, it's a carriage, and it's like going down some
white carriage
Roman road
with AC riding around with
exactly.
whipping the horse to get going.
Whipping the horse going faster, exactly. Yeah. We all tuned in for that.
Yep. And I'll get to that one too eventually, obviously, because that was our trial of the century.
Naturally.
Our crime of the century, sorry. Anyway,
it's funny because I looked up this, I was trying to figure out if there was a list of all the things that had been dubbed something of the century.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find one. So if anybody has one, I want to hear.
Just blank of the century or like crime of the century?
Crime of the century, trial of the century.
There is some trial of the century stuff. There's crime of the century stuff that I did look into. There's just like Wikipedia articles on it. I didn't do like a deep dive into specifically that. But I do know that, again, I'll get into that. Just hold off on that.
Got it.
But anyway, so this is where it's seen as sort of like kind of starting. There's no official beginning necessarily.
Right.
But this is I think this is a good example of like, okay, this is different from just drawing Jesus in a trial. This is trying to document something. And
do you know if like people I know you didn't go too much into it, but like, was there a demand from people on the outside wanting to see inside what was happening? Like, did this go on to like be given to people or bought by people, or was it just purely documentation?
I don't know. I think there is this thing where, so just to kind of jump ahead a little bit, from the 16th century onwards, engraving and lithography make courtrooms and trials more accessible to the public.
Right.
So working class serfs are suddenly getting to see what takes place in the courtroom. So I don't know if there was a demand from them necessarily, or like the queen decides that it's a good idea, or what. I don't know.
I see.
I didn't necessarily brush up on that, but that is a good question. I'm actually kind of curious as to what causes it. Or maybe it was just one of those things where the technology exists and they kind of can't keep a lid on it anymore, and they can't keep it private. So it's that's how it goes, right?
One queen executed another queen. Like, that's insane. Yeah. I'm sure that people were like, what happened in there? I would imagine that it was like the kind of a crime of the century kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're always curious and we want to know what's happening behind the closed doors that we're not allowed to know about regardless. I think that's true of every century that you're in. So I imagine it was just a need that people wanted, but I don't know what directly led to it happening other than the tech maybe, because again, technology of the day, making it something that was more accessible. So, the French artist Honoré Daumier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he apparently was prolific in his depictions of courtroom dramas and caricatures of judges and whatnot.
Do you have any?
So I'm going to send you some. Yeah. I've got examples of all this stuff.
Good. Go to the YouTube. Oh. This is what I would do in a courtroom. So it looks like is it a magistrate or a judge? They're all asleep while the prosecution or someone is just like yelling something at them, proclaiming, and these caricatures are amazing.
Yeah, they're like snooze
fast, boring.
And then there's boring. There's this guy. This is another one that Daumier did.
Oh, the faces he gives. Everyone looks bored in these trials. Yeah. I like this, that everyone's like, get me out of here.
I mean, it was for some paper. So I think these I wouldn't quite call courtroom sketches. These are more like accompanying artworks to like make fun of. These are almost more like borderline political cartoons, I would say.
Yeah.
Rather than straight courtroom sketches. But that's not to say that they don't depict certain events that happen. But I think again,
I like that he gives it a very like candid quality though, because I feel like I am just standing behind all these people watching the same thing as them, which is like kind of fun.
Again, it's, if to use film language, these are more of like satire of an event. Rather than like a documentary per se.
Got it.
But using the language and the visual.
I've seen a film. I would know now.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen one. It's not quite. It's not Get Help exactly. It's not a horror film, but
no. But I've seen enough of one film to know what you're talking about. So
exactly. After many years. Then I don't know, like 100, 200 years later, there's this. I thought you would enjoy this one specifically.
Okay. It looks kind of like a comic. It says the Wilde versus Queensberry case and how it ended. And the first, it's Oscar Wilde.
It's Oscar Wilde. This is from 1895 and it was published in the Illustrated London News.
This is amazing. He's sitting in his little witness box and the judge or someone is like what does that say? Cross-examining him. And then arrest of Wilde at the Cadogan Hotel. Parker giving evidence, and it's a guy being like, I don't know, I saw him, whatever he's being arrested for. probably for being gay. Isn't that what it was? He got arrested for like sodomy or something. I can't remember.
Again, I don't know. I didn't look too much into the cases specifically. I care more about the artists. Hannah,
you call yourself yourself a half-assed researcher? At least get like. And
this
they're
is
at the
about
Old
the
Bailey.
art. Yeah.
Lord Douglas. And I like how they make Oscar Wilde look like a dummy, and everyone else look kind of hot. Taylor joins Wilde at the dock, and not hot, you know what I mean, but the standards where it's like, look at
how
this,
hot they are.
Look at how hot these cops are, and then he shows him in the police cell, looking real sad for being arrested. Oh, poor Oscar Wilde. Street.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's like another kind of, it's like a precursor to it a little bit, I would say. Again, I liked that it was a comic form. Really, I mean, that's what it is. It's a comic.
Yeah, comics.
It's sequential art.
Comics go way back, guys. Remember Peter Stump? That was a full-blown comic. I still want to make stickers of that. Of him getting his nipples ripped off.
To the Peter Stump episode from season 1. That was another tab that I did. Meanwhile, in the States, there are pieces trying to depict the Salem witch trials. I'm jumping over in time, sort of in parallel. Here is this one. If you look, please describe it to the audience once again.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I've seen this picture. It's the Salem witch trials, and there's like a girl writhing on the ground, and everyone's gathered around being like, whoa. And then, it's a wood print. Not a wood print. It's not a woodcut. It's a lithograph. I can't tell.
Yeah. It looks
but
like
it's very dynamic.
Sarah after she falls asleep on the couch and is like, take me to the bed, please. I'm too sleepy.
Just like Sarah, just laying on the floor of a courthouse, being a witch.
That's me pointing at her and be like, you believe this shit? My wife wants me to carry her to the bed? What do you think? I have the back of a 21-year-old? I can't do this.
I was told you did, so.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, this is, it's hard to describe this because it's just, this classic Salem witch just getting accused of being a witch.
But kind of to your point, though, it's more like, this is a much more refined drawing, right? This
dynamic.
It's dynamic. Well, not just dynamic. I just mean it was like, it's a lot more detailed. This took some time to draw this one.
To etch this. So I'm pretty sure this is
to etch this. And there's a lot of shading. It's a very detailed drawing. It's beautiful.
It's when you get up close, it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it does start to do the first. I mean, this is a little bit of art history stuff coming into this right now at this point in terms of how they approach composition and the figures. But like the center figure in this piece has his back turned to you. Yeah. Right. And that was something that sort of starts around that time that becomes much more naturalistic in terms of like, oh, you're observing something rather than everyone being staged forward.
Right. It's a you're in the room.
Yeah. Which never would have happened, like whatever. No. Everything else was like a proscenium up until then. And then around the 100 years around this, it was like, okay, it's a lot more. Yeah. Proscenium is funny too. Is that a funny word?
I thought you said perennium. Sorry.
It's a perennium. Yes. It's much more perennium.
I laugh because I have a gutter brain. All right. What do you want?
I'm not mad about perennium. I just was confused. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my brain went somewhere and I didn't say it. And then that's why I laughed.
Anyway, so moving on. This kind of to my point, it's still not a sketch, right? It's still, it's kind of getting there. It's not exactly there. Yeah. And then the trial of John Brown happens.
Oh, I was just reading about John Brown. Dude.
It's crazy. That's quite the story.
Yeah. That dude was not messing around.
Awesome. I wanted to do that's like a book. That's not a tab you do on John Brown. That's like a 30-part series of like, what is it?
Funny because I made that same decision. I was like, dude, I want to talk about John Brown. Yes, like a week ago, I was like, this guy's insane. And I had known about John Brown, but I didn't know actually how truly ride or die and die he was. Yeah. Where it's like, man, putting every other white person to shame.
That's the standard. Yeah.
That right there. If you're not John Brown ready to die, then I don't know if you're really actually like fighting for the equality of others.
Yeah. So, of course, John Brown, this trial is like a huge deal in no small part because of the explosion of newspapers circulating in penny papers and all that crap. Also, it's a little bit later. It's like about 20 years later. But, this is sort of when it starts to crescendo and become like a huge thing. So these drawings start to become a little bit more detailed as well. So like this is a little bit looser, right? It's still very detailed, this piece that I'm sending you.
Oh, but it's still got that kind of the Mary Queen of Scots vibe to it, where there's an entire, it like documents the layout and where everyone was sitting. And it's like, look at that. That's kind of hard to see where he is. Is there a bed on the ground? Is he laying in a bed? It's like, we're going to watch this guy sleep. Yeah. That's part of it. It's part of it. Yeah, this just looks like a photo taken from the back seat of a courtroom.
but as like a loose drawing, which is kind of cool about it. Like a cartoon. It's funny that almost. You say photo.
Mm-hmm. Why?
You know, like a lot of other art forms, the invention of the camera takes everything in a totally different direction. Yeah. And suddenly it's like, you know, pics or it didn't happen, whatever. And
pics or John Brown wasn't sleeping in the courtroom on that little cot they put in there.
If I didn't see a photograph of it.
I don't think he would. I would show me he slept in the courtroom. Yeah. I hope he's having a good nap.
So the camera gets invented, right? At first, it's like, oh, you got to stand still for like 100 hours to be able to burn this into it. But pretty quickly, it becomes high-speed photography, and you're able to actually take snapshots. And it seemed like courtroom art was going to go the way of the dodo until something rather unexpected happened.
Yeah.
Rather
the dodo
unexpected.
Came back.
The dodo was there. It was really interesting.
I think it was on trial for being the dumbest looking bird.
For being almost extinct. Yeah.
No,
it's just like,
being
why are
the
you so
dumbest
trusting?
looking bird on earth. Yeah, why don't you fight for yourself? Anyway, I shouldn't be blaming the dodo for its demise, but you know.
But you know what?
What?
I'll tell you what that unexpected thing is that happened after these brief commercial messages.
Oh, nice one.
Okay, and we're back. So, as I was teasing before the ad break, something happened. On March 1st, 1932, Charles Lindbergh and Anne Morrow's 20-month-old son, Charles Lindbergh Jr., was kidnapped from his crib.
Sad.
Now, to put this into context, just a couple years earlier, Charles Lindbergh Sr. had achieved worldwide fame by being the first person to fly from New York to Paris solo in his trusty plane, the Spirit of St. Louis, cementing his status as one of the pioneers of the nascent aviation industry. And there's
the world's
almost
worst white supremacist to fly a plane.
You know, I didn't actually know anything about the white supremacy part of it.
Oh, you didn't?
Is that just, no.
Yeah.
I've never really, this is the most I've ever read about Charles Lindbergh other than knowing that he flew the plane. Yeah.
Whenever I come across him in some reading, I'm always like, ugh, because it always has some weird eugenics. He's like really pro-eugenics. He was anti-Semitic, like loved Hitler and stuff.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That's just standard white people stuff of the 1930s.
You know, I would push back on that, but I don't know. I wasn't there. So...
Not like OJ. OJ was there.
They weren't John Browning it, so yeah. Yes.
That's true. I don't know. That's I mean, it's not like going to be, I'm not going to be sitting here and talking about how awesome Charles Lindbergh is. But I think but I will say he's notable even for his time for being like, even for his time as being like a very
even for
extreme.
His time, everyone's like, yikes, dude. Cool. Just why don't you just fly planes and shut up?
Yeah. Apparently that didn't seem to matter at this time because it was only like a couple years since he had done that flight.
Yeah.
And so he's like a worldwide celebrity, right? He's absolutely, there's no, I can't really think of a modern day equivalent. The only thing I could think of is like, what if the Artemis ship that just happened was like one person flew it into space and you'd be like, what the hell? Like,
or like Neil Armstrong, maybe being the first.
I don't even know, man. I think now kids don't even know who Neil Armstrong. Everyone's like, oh, the moon landing's fake and blah. We live in the worst time. It's the worst. Every idiot on the internet thinks it didn't happen. Yeah. But anyway, the point is like he's huge, right? He's a huge deal. He's very, 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 very famous. Superstar. Everyone loved his wife, Anne Morrow. And when they had a kid, it was like, oh my God, this is basically like, I don't know, Shiloh Jolie or like Blue Ivy or something. They're like, this is the next generation of greatest
Blue Ivy Lindbergh.
Yeah. So, naturally, when this kid, goes missing, it's like just again, just to use Blue Ivy. I don't know why that's the example I could think of. This is the most famous child I could think of like the one that people were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But just, or like whatever, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. I'm just an old person, so these are old person references.
Yeah, these are 90s references.
I don't know. Let's say, what's her name? Zendaya and Tom, what's his name, have a kid.
Okay.
Right. Those are two very
Tom
famous. Holland, yes, thank you. All right, let's say they have a child. Everyone loves them. They're like, Hollywood sweethearts. Everybody loves them across the board. They're a huge deal.
Right.
Everyone loves them. And then they have a kid. Power couple. Imagine they have a kid, and then that kid gets kidnapped
out of its window in the middle of the night.
Yes.
From a house they're all sleeping in. It's insane.
Right?
Like someone put a ladder against the house, climbed up, took the kid, and no one ever saw it. Anyway, go on. You
exactly. So it's like it's the biggest story in the country, right? Every newspaper is giving it all the coverage they can, and it's of course selling a lot of papers because it's like everyone is just like rabid. They need to know.
Man.
And on top of that, there's like a whole crazy like ransom note subplot where like the kidnappers only signed their letters with like a weird Zodiac style like triple hole punch signature, and they're like the cops are handing off like a box full of money with gold note cash that had been taken out of circulation so they could track the spending.
This is all true, by the way.
Involved.
It sounds like you're going on one of your little tangents where you make a bunch of stuff up, but all of this is true.
No, this is all legitimately what happened. And like the precursor to the FBI, which is the Bureau of Investigation, the BOI, they're involved. It's like a high profile case. It's, you know, all these legitimate, like insane twists and turns. And honestly, like it reads like a movie when I was reading it. And I'm sure there's a lot of like crime story hallmarks that are just lifted directly from this. Just because of how big of a deal it was. Again, I don't think there's an equivalent. Like you could only imagine something happening like this, but you know, forget the monoculture of like 30 years ago. This is even more of a whatever below a monoculture would be in terms of like everybody knows about like one thing.
The only culture.
The only culture.
News, but yeah,
so it's huge.
I'm sure at the time it was like making a bunch of people money too. So they're like, we got to keep this ransom thing going. We got to keep like these stories going. And like we talked about with like the adoption of like 24-hour news, this was like the precursor of like, we're going to sensationalize the worst thing that could happen to somebody. Like that is my worst nightmare on this planet.
Yeah, I think that's every parent's worst nightmare.
Imagine that being all over the papers for years. Insane. Crazy. And back then it was like, oh, we're just getting involved. Like anyone could write a ransom note and make money. You know what I mean? It was just this crazy, like there were no rules. There was just like, you could do whatever you wanted. And those poor parents, white supremacist or not, I shouldn't have maybe brought that into it. I'm sorry. I always bring that up. But
no, it's okay. I know you love white supremacy, so you need to mention it. You need to mention Great Britain and white supremacy, your two favorite pastimes in every episode. Look at that face. Go watch the YouTube to see Hannah's displeasure.
Alyssa, just
don't bring your friend Alyssa into this.
Try to make it better.
She doesn't share your awful views.
Oh yeah, my awful white supremacist views. You know me.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from Hannah's white supremacy. This shit goes on forever.
It's just like I feel. Here's the thing. I just gotta laugh at it because
Because it's true. I know. Okay, so let me can I continue with my tab?
Yeah, can we just stop talking about this?
Talking about your love of Hitler and like I'm sorry that you want to time travel back then to meet your hero Charles Lindbergh and talk to him about the Nazis
and get immediately murdered. That's all I want.
Yeah. Anyway, this shit goes on forever until they finally catch the main suspect. He's a German immigrant named Richard Hauptmann. Apparently, I'm sorry to our German listeners, of which we have quite a few. Hauptmann. Let us know in the comments how you can phonetically spell it out. Yeah.
Ricky
Old Dick Hauptmann.
My name's Dickie Hoppin.
Hauptmann. Hauptmann.
I know, but I keep thinking you say Hopton, like hopped on, like Dick hopped on. That's what I mean. Wow. Well, he's a murderer, so we can say that. Dickie Hoppmann.
And now they have this. He's an immigrant. He's German.
No.
He's a suspect. He has a
They
rap
weren't white back then.
Yeah. And like, this is before, you know, streaming and TikTok and podcasting like it. So like, this is it. Okay.
This is the guy.
The public, they're like locked in because this is now the natural culmination of this story is like, now we're going to get a trial. Now we're going to get to see what happens. I want to see who this dude is. I want to see what the evidence is. This becomes
waiting for
like
2 years to know anything.
Yeah.
Gimme.
This is the news event of the century. This is bigger than like, I don't know, whatever, the MASH finale or like Seinfeld or some other outdated reference of back when people used to watch television.
The MASH finale?
That's the biggest. That holds the record for being the most viewed television finale ever.
To this day? Really?
Yeah, it's like 100 million people watch the MASH finale.
No idea.
It's huge.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll mash your finale. I don't know. Go on.
Mash your finale at once. Anyway, it's huge. It's the biggest news in the world. And so naturally, all the newspaper moguls, they're like, okay, this is it. This is our Super Bowl. And they're like, we better get front row seats to this boondoggle. I need every photo I can get. I want to see Lindy scratching his ass. I want to see Annie drinking city juice. It doesn't matter.
Charles Lindbergh ass scratch shots, page 6.
Scratch. Exactly. And these vultures absolutely needed to extract as much value as humanly possible from the suffering of this family, unfortunately. Yeah. And as such, the courtroom turned into like an absolute clown car shit show. Not just the courtroom, but like the courthouse, I should say. Right?
What do you mean, like smaller Lindberghs came out of a bigger Lindbergh? What do you mean, clown car? I'm picturing more Lindberghs. Oh, you're sending me a picture. Okay.
It's just more like there's too many people being shoved into like a small amount of space.
I see. Oh, yeah. Is that Lindbergh right there?
Yes, that's him on the
He looks devastated. He doesn't look well.
I don't think he would be.
Oh, I feel bad.
Yeah, and suddenly
What a
there's like
nightmare.
Billion journalists and photographers, and they're all jockeying for the best angle and the best shot. And this is like the 1930s, so
and you're testifying at your son's murder trial.
Yeah, exactly. And they're
kidnapping.
And of course, everyone's doing like these are the old timey cameras, so there's like shrapnel of light bulbs flying everywhere, and people are like chain smoking, and they're all talking like, "Did you see that jalopy the dames showed up in?" And blah blah blah, and they're all talking weird. And
there's no dames in here.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Everything you think it would be, it's like more insane than that.
So you would be immediately distracted if it were you.
Oh, I can't go. I'm staying 100,000 feet away from this trial. I would basically have a panic attack because it'd be too much stimulation happening. Too much stimulus happening at once. And not only does it make it nearly impossible for the judge and lawyers to do their jobs, it's also, like you said, it's very humiliating for anyone who's trying to seek justice. Like, cool, I'm really glad someone's taking constant pictures of my face as the prosecution reads off the timeline of how my baby got murdered. Like, oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, it does make me feel better that my tears will help William Randolph Hearst build his god-awful tacky castle. Like, eat shit.
Thank you for calling it tacky, because that's what it is. I love it, but it's tacky. You go there, everyone's like, the Hearst Castle. You're like, who? Yeah. Let's mix every known architecture. Like, come on. That's why it's fun to look at. But yeah. Oh.
And this isn't just the papers, by the way. It's also like the era of newsreels, remember?
Right. Before movies and stuff.
Yeah. So the crews from the big 5 companies totaled 100 men, 50 cameras, 35 sound trucks. So like they're just on site.
Oh my gosh.
Making newsreels all day long. Right. Which, by the way, for people who are younger who might not have seen newsreels, they used to just show like news updates before you would show a movie, kind of like a little, I don't know, snippet of something.
Before the trailers and previews and stuff, it was.
Yeah.
Let's
I don't
watch.
think they even had trailers and previews. It'd just be
no, I know, but like before we had those, it was like we're gonna watch D-Day footage, like stuff like that.
No, honestly, because there's no TV, right? This is before television, so like when you would go to the movies, they'd be like, and now an update from the Lindbergh trial. The Lindbergh baby found murdered.
And everyone's like, love this, clap, clap, clap. Let's watch a romance. So like everyone's
Springfield, like, a city on the grow.
Everyone's like, we're so obsessed with death now, and it's like, no, we've always been this way.
We've always been obsessed with it. Yeah, 100%. The true crime thing has been with us as long as anybody can remember.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of the trial, but ultimately what did you call him? Dick Hopon?
Dickie Hopon.
Optman. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's found guilty and sentenced.
That's his name.
That guy. He's found guilty and sentenced to death.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And, you can go read about the trial. There's quite a lot about it. I didn't really want to get too much into it.
Go find any true crime podcast. I'm sure they have it.
And as it turns out, this wouldn't be the only death as a result of this trial. Because in 1937, the American Bar Association adopted a resolution condemning photography and broadcasting in the courtroom, which read, quote, proceedings in court should be conducted with fitting dignity and decorum. The taking of photographs in the courtroom during sessions of the court and recesses between sessions and broadcasting of court proceedings are calculated to detract from the essential dignity of the proceedings, degrade the court, and create misconceptions with respect thereto in the minds of the public, and should not be permitted.
I get it.
You got all that?
Yeah, makes sense. I'm sure they were like, there's somebody in that courtroom was like, this is not good. We've reached a new level.
I mean, it was just too much, right? Yeah. It's too much. People don't want to have all that shit telecast. And of course it ruins the trial too, because you're like, suddenly you're performing in a weird way, right?
It becomes a trial of like an open to everyone trial where everyone can pass their own judgment. And this is how like mobs happen, like that wait outside courtrooms, I don't know. Yeah.
But importantly, it didn't say shit about drawing pictures.
Oh, there we go. Loophole. Idiots. Artists are here.
Exactly. And so this is where what we kind of think of as courtroom sketching really begins in earnest. This is the beginning
late
of it.
30s.
Yeah, it's like 37, I think is what it was. I said. Yeah, 1937 is when they passed it. The first American courtroom artist to work with a television network that became popular was a guy named Leo Hirschfeld, who was brought on to sketch the Joe McCarthy Century hearings for NBC, earning him the nickname Dean of Courtroom Artists.
Dean? Oh, come on.
That's what they call. That's like kind of what they call him as like a cute name. So here he is.
I'd be so mad. I'd be like, Dean. Okay, there he is. He has he's got this like shit-faced grin on, like shit-eating grin.
Shit-eating grin. Yeah, he's awesome.
This is awesome. Wait, Hirschfeld as in like, is he related to the Hirschfeld?
Al Hirschfeld? I don't believe so.
Okay, I guess it's probably a common last name. These are awesome. Yeah, so he's standing in front of like a gallery of all these different, what now look like very traditional courtroom illustrations. Yeah. Okay. Oh, they're like cartoons. I love this.
Yeah, these are all his works. So
second one you sent me with like them on the chairs and like the really solid line work is really good. Okay.
It's funny because he does appear to have like he's no pun intended, he does have a Hirschfeld influence of Al Hirschfeld.
The head shapes. I'm like, that's a Al Hirschfeld
line
right
work
there.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like he was trained as an animator. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know if he was, but
so in total, over the course of his career, he covered 147 trials for the NBC.
Whoa!
The guy worked the rest of his life doing this stuff.
This was his job.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, whoops! I sent the same picture twice. I love this one. This one cracks me up.
You
should describe this one to the audience.
This is great. So it's a guy. It looks like a military general. Do you know who that is, by chance?
So this was some military trial, actually. I forget.
Okay.
Again, there was. I'll say this up front. Like there were so many drawings and moments and art. It's crazy. It's like a embarrassment of riches. There's so much stuff. Like I could have done 50 episodes on like a million different artists. It's crazy.
Okay. Damn. Okay. So the judge. This is actually one of my favorite things so far I've seen that you've shown me today. The judge is like this little man, kind of crouched up above, like peeking over the whatever it's called, the thing he's at, and then there's this military guy smoking a cigarette, holding like a is it the lie detector test? Where he's got the lie detector buzzer on his hand. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, and then he's like making a point with his big pointer finger, and looks like Al Hirschfeld. It looks like a Hirschfeld, like an actual Hirschfeld drawing.
I mean, technically, it is an actual Hirschfeld drawing.
It is a Hirschfeld. I want to
say Hirschfeld spelled his name with an I. I might be mistaken.
I don't know.
The other artist Hirschfeld. Anyway, that's Leo. He's great. Awesome. He does some really wonderful,
good caricatures.
His style is they're very loose line drawings with like a slap of some color on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's like a full official count on this, but like I think a lot of these are basically like they're drawing them while they're in the courtroom, or they have to deliver them like with sometimes it's like you only get like 15 20 minutes on these things.
I've always wondered,
depending on it depends, I think, but I think generally speaking it's not longer than like 15 20 minutes, I think.
Okay. I've always wondered that because like with like gesture drawing, it's like you got to get down to 30 seconds a piece or whatever in class. But
they're very gestural.
I've always wondered how long they have. Like, is it just a scene they remember? Like, anyway, you'll probably get to it. So
there's a lot of sketches, like, and there's also like these kind of pastels, which are that's usually what I think of, or like the pastel pieces. Okay, that to me is the general kind of like, and again, because if you think about it, they're like you have to block in a lot of color, and like it's not just like a regular sketch. You need to give it some color and some pop and some like drama
link to reality. Yeah, you can't just do black and white.
And they're using these on newscasts. They're using them in newspapers. Like all these different people are using the rights to these drawings one way or another.
Dream job. But I thought, honestly.
Honestly, it's great.
I want this. Secured for life.
No, they're still freelance, dude. That's every interview I read. They're just like, I don't know. Like there's the people that do it are like, okay, I've been doing this for 40 years, but like I never know and whatever. It's
more than I got to say for myself now. What freelance is gone, guys.
Fucking A. Anyway, so apparently there was some exhibit that was called Witness for the People, Courtroom Art in the Electronic Age. It was curated by a lady named Catherine Krupp. Oh. And she made this observation, which I thought was fascinating. And it is about how the East Coast artists and the West Coast artists had different, they tended to have different aesthetics of how they did it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And this is her quote. She says, the New York group uses pencils, pastels, markers, and watercolors on large sheets of tinted paper mounted on stiff board for support, while West Coast artists rely more exclusively on quicker yet less subtle markers.
Oh,
so
interesting.
West Coast is bold. Yeah.
I mean, that fits with almost everything we know about East and West Coast differences anyway. So
yeah. So anyway, so here's some greatest hits. Okay. There's Bill Robles, who basically drew everything, most notably the Manson trial.
Oh, let me see this.
So you've probably seen these before. These are very famous drawings.
Oh, yeah. These are so good.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was from the Courtroom sketch. I've seen this before. Manson guilty, Nixon declares. There's our boy Nixon. Ew, our boy.
So it's Charles Manson holding up a newspaper.
Holding up a newspaper, and looks like Charles Manson. But I love the style. I see what you mean by like the boldness of it.
This is one of my favorites. It's also by Bill Robles.
Is that Charles Manson leaping at the judge? Okay, so it's Manson leaping at the judge, and his flip-flop is even like fluttering, like flapping in the wind, and it's launching. And there's a courtroom like security guy, police officer grabbing his waist and pulling him back, and the judge
bailiff,
just looks,
I believe, yeah.
Bailiff. The bailiff's pulling him back, and the judge is just chilling, like sitting up there, like okay.
And this looks like a Ralph Steadman drawing to me. It looks like, if you guys are familiar with like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like that art style, that's kind of what it looks like. There's so much. There's a lot of energy in this. It's crazy.
It's explosive.
Explosive's a good word. He's sort of like one of the most famous ones. There's a couple of other guys. Here's a guy. His name is Arnold Meshes. I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to go through and look at everyone's last names. Guess who that is?
That looks like. Oh, who is that?
It's a pencil sketch of a very short man coming into the courtroom.
Yeah.
And that is Sirhan Sirhan.
You're right. Look he's so little. I didn't know he was so short.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he's partying it up in, wait, what jail is he in? He's like hanging out with some other serial killers or something.
I'm not which one he's in. I'm not sure.
He's in some jail and he's like friends with a bunch of serial killers.
But it's funny because for that one, he was like, oh, it was so weird. Again, you can find interviews with all these people. He was like, it was so strange. He's like, when Sirhan came in, he's like, I was surprised at how short he was. He was like,
little.
I didn't expect him to be so tiny. And he's like, that was kind of jarring. So like, that's this is what I think is so cool about this as an art form is like you're choosing to you're almost directing a story, you know what I mean? Like they're choosing to tell the specific part of the story of this guy coming in and then being like, oh, it's so interesting that he's so much shorter than everybody else because really he's carried so much because there's so much infamy around him and you're like, oh, he's this short guy.
He's just a little dude. Yeah, and he really showed that, like, here's the murderer. It's just this little guy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And he said, quote, at one point in his career, he says, quote, I have for some years now found myself depicting our time with a sense of unreality bordering on the more unsettlingly absurd.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That doesn't just sum up everything.
Exactly.
I'm glad it's not new. Because I feel like being a courtroom artist would be the ultimate, like, wow, everything's absurd kind of job. Mm-hmm. Like finding yourself drawing Charles Manson jumping out of his seat, trying to attack the judge.
Can you imagine how that's like the best day of your life as an artist, being like, I get to draw.
I'd be on cloud 9. I'd be like, guess what I got to draw today, family? I got to draw Charlie Manson freaking out. Like, incredible.
It's funny too, when you read all the interviews with them, it's the exact same thing where they're like, most trials are kind of boring, but then sometimes they're like, oh, this person brought in a bunch of bottles of wine to show like what they had stolen. And then I got to draw wine falling over and it was fun. Because usually it's just somebody being like this, like stone faced kind of thing.
Sitting in their chair, being quiet.
Yeah. So I guess Art Lean was the dude who focused mostly on Supreme Court cases.
Art Lean.
And he's, Lien, Lean. He does some really beautiful work. Although, because again, it's the Supreme Court and it's a bunch of, people who are 1,000 years old. Is
that
sitting.
RBG?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Justice Ginsburg dissents in American Legion versus American Humanist Association 2019. Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting to see the kind of court that he's in because it's slower and there's a lot of deliberation and the stakes are higher and everyone's old. It's like he has more time.
Yeah. He can sit there and actually finish this piece. This is really cool that it's like this big, huge, it's like a classic looking court scene with like the drapes and the tall like pillars.
I would describe this as far less impressionistic and a lot more just like straightforward.
It really does have an air of like political cartoon though. If you look kind of like from far away. Yeah, like in the little details, like these are cartoonists. Like I just look at these people as cartoonists a little bit in the way that they simplify the faces. I don't know. The thing is, to me, these feel so much less dramatic. They're much more like I took a photograph with my eyes and painted them. Not that that's bad. Or we're at work,
Yeah, the story is, but again, it's like you're drawing the Supreme Court. It's like you don't have Charles Manson jumping at the judges. So it's like
give him some more character.
They're still beautiful, by the way. I'm not talking shit on any of these. I just mean like in terms of my taste, I would prefer something that's a little bit more insane for reasons that I don't need to explain.
No. Because this is boring. I'm bored.
So here is your boy. This is drawn by Frida Leibowitz Reiter. It's See if you can guess who that is.
There he is. Is that I don't know.
Old
My
John
boy.
Hinckley.
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean, my boy?
The one that got away, our boy.
The one that got away, man.
We salute him for his efforts.
We all try our best, and
Jodie
sometimes
Foster
it's not enough.
still can be impressed. It's not too late.
No, you can still impress Jodie Foster. Yeah, there he is. He looking sad. Sad that he didn't follow through.
Just like the rest of us were sad that he wasn't able to accomplish.
So close. Look, we had 4. We could have made it 5 assassinated presidents. So maybe not a good thing to say, but hey, Reagan's dead. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine. So then we get to Jane Rosenberg, and Jane Rosenberg is a more contemporary artist who has done a million trials, but most notably, she was one of the sketch artists at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
Ghislaine, yep.
Yeah. Did you ever see the photos of Ghislaine drawing the person that was drawing her? This is one of my favorites.
She's... if it weren't Ghislaine Maxwell, I'd respect this, but she is... Sorry. This is a courtroom sketch of Ghislaine Maxwell sketching the courtroom artist and just staring her right in her eyes, and they all have masks on.
Penetrating eyes. It's crazy. She's like staring into your soul. Yeah.
Man,
very
that
intense.
Woman. Imagine that. Imagine looking up and you're like, oh, she's drawing me. All right,
what's funny is, I guess,
her drawing me.
So I guess there was 2 artists that were there that day. Another one was another artist named Elizabeth Williams.
I think I've seen her stuff.
So there's 2 different interpretations in a courtroom of Ghislaine drawing different artists.
Oh, look, she's drinking one of those drinks. You can tell.
Oh yeah, the coconut. I think it's the coconut flavor. Yeah,
it is. That one has caffeine in it. Okay.
Anyway, I love those. I thought they were totally insane.
Oh, yeah. They caught Ghislaine's like sneaky little eyes, you know? She's got those. Man, I hate her.
My favorite, though, is that there was an interview, again, with Jane Rosenberg, and she was like, they were trying to basically get her to like say something political about Ghislaine, and she was just like, I don't know. She's my drawing buddy. We just draw together.
I just never would have thought that she would also be drawing in court, because 100% that's what I'd be doing, whether I'm a courtroom
100%.
artist or not. I'd be like, sorry, I can't listen to this court thing against me if I'm not drawing.
Yeah, exactly. And then my favorite of all, this is the pièce de résistance. To me, this is the peak of courtroom sketches. So this is Diddy after he found out the verdict.
Okay.
That he was going to go to jail.
Okay, wait, I gotta unpack this. So
this to me this is like an impressionist painting.
This is going to be in a museum someday.
Yes.
Diddy is on the ground, like on his knees, fists out, laying his head on the chair where he was just sitting,
like a
hitting
kid.
the chair, and then sobbing. And then here's the little touch that I love. Right up on the table is a book.
He's under the table, yeah.
He's under the table that he was on.
And he's wearing a bright yellow sweater, like a canary yellow sweater.
Don't wear a yellow sweater to your sentencing. It looks stupid. You're gonna for this it looks great. He's sobbing and hitting the chair, and then above him on the desk there's a book that says The Art of Positive Thinking. Oh boy, buddy. Sorry, this isn't Ghislaine Maxwell. You're not going to get out of this very easily. Look at him. Yeah. He's so sad.
He's so upset. It's so dramatic.
This is what and such a baby. Like, this guy.
That's why he needed all the baby oil.
Because he's a baby.
Anyway, again, there's
incredible.
So every like significant. Oh, I guess I skipped over this. I forgot to talk about the specifics about OJ, right? Which is OJ was like, oh, right. Okay, I'm sorry. Before I finish up, you're probably wondering what the specifics are. And I think cameras are technically banned from all federal courts, but state to state, it's different. And it's ultimately up to the judge. The judge can allow or not allow certain trials to be televised or, photographed or whatever. And Ito, who, famously, Judge Ito was the judge of the OJ trial. He was like, okay, we'll do it. We'll allow them to come in. And it turned into like this, again, it's another, that was the media frenzy of our childhoods.
Yeah.
It was totally insane.
Some of my earliest memories are watching the OJ trial with my mom.
Yeah. And they're like, and it got crazy, and people were terrible to Marsha Clark, and they're like, why does she look like that? And they like tried, and she had to get like a makeover.
Stupid haircut,
it was just like,
yeah.
And it was just like, this has nothing to do with like, she was wholly unprepared. She was like, oh, I thought I was just going to go in there and prove that this guy is
do my job.
And then it turned into this weird popularity contest, kind of almost like what's it called? Like presidential debates that were televised versus not being televised. Once they got televised, it like
with
totally
like a bunch of misogyny sprinkled on there, where it's just like, who's this ugly broad? Why isn't she hotter?
So it's like that was the last big one, I think, that was was filmed and photographed and all that.
Wow.
So I mean, it's not to say that there hasn't been anything. It's sort of like a case-to-case basis if the judge allows it, but generally speaking, it's still federally you're not allowed to do it. And if you see stuff on the news, usually it's like there's pictures of somebody entering the court, or if there's something that's like more public, like the I don't know, the sentencing, or like the whatever, like the first part of the trial. Like the trials themselves are usually not photographed in the same way. It's still kind of sketch
hearings and sentencings and stuff can be photos. Sometimes.
Unfortunately I didn't have enough time. I did track down like a couple of numbers. I kind of want to go. I'm hoping that at some point in the future I can reach out to some of these courtroom artists, because I actually do have a lot more questions about like functionally how it works and how you get hired. I mean, I know that like I don't think that, I don't even know, because I won't even say, but I'm fascinated to find somebody and talk to them directly about like how this has gone for them and kind of whatever.
If anyone knows anybody, I would love to interview a courtroom artist.
I'm saying I've found a couple of people that I think I can reach out to. And I'm saying I might, if you guys want to know, and if you guys are interested in it, let us know in the comments. If that's something you guys would like to see, maybe that would be something that I could set up like an interview with someone, and if they're able, if they're interested, right, if they're comfortable doing it. But I would really love to talk to them just in terms of like stories that they have, or art.
I want to hear what a day is like. Like, what does it look like to sit there? What are some crazier stories you've had? I would love that. So please, let us know if you're interested.
Anyway, sorry, I went a little bit long, but that is a brief history of the art of courtroom sketching. I had so much fun looking at all this stuff. Awesome. It's crazy. It's beautiful. So much good art. Because
I've seen some really bad courtroom art before, where it's like, like what are we doing?
Oh yeah, people were mad about some of these ones that like don't have the correct like there was some Taylor Swift trial that like somebody drew Taylor Swift and everybody was like, it doesn't look like her, and then Tom Brady
then they
looked
can
weird.
Chill out, okay? Let's let her look bad once.
Your white supremacist queen. What do you always call her?
She's the not Nazi queen of not in England, Nazi queen of America.
The Nazi ideal? No, it's not the Nazi queen. What do you call her?
No, she's Hitler's ideal. She's Hitler's
Hitler
dream.
ideal. That's what you always call her.
Yeah, she's Hitler. I do always call her Hitler's dream, don't I? Wow.
Yep.
I do talk about Hitler more than normal. Look, everybody, she could do better. Maybe make some music that's better. And I wouldn't call you that, Taylor Swift. Maybe that. Sound off in the comments about whether I'm right or wrong. How about that?
Anyway, that's my tab. Thank you for listening. I don't know. Thank you. What sound to make to close?
Yeah.
Got sketching. How about a paper getting torn in half, like it's or crumbled up and thrown in the trash?
I have one. We're gonna do the sound of somebody tackling a judge to the ground. Oh. So we're tackling the tab down. And there's no bailiff stopping us, okay?
Yes. So, Alyssa, if that's too complicated, don't worry about it. Just get like a torn up paper
shredder. Shredding paper.
No, not shredded. Just like tearing it out of the sketchbook and throwing it away because it's not good.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Either one. Dealer's choice.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
So many tabs open for that one.
I can imagine. These were great. But now it's time for listener mail. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. Oh, it's a voice memo. We've got a voice memo this time. Amy from Atlanta.
Hi, Kaveh, Hannah, and Alyssa. It's Amy from Atlanta again. I've been catching up on past episodes between new ones, and I audibly yelled, "What?" in my car when I heard about the Crypt of Civilization. I used to live in that area, and I never knew it was there. We asked our neighbor who worked at Oglethorpe University about it, and apparently he used to be the crypt keeper.
What?
Now I'm going to think about that every time I go to the Costco next to it. Thank you for unveiling some local lore for me. The tab I brought you is a repository of old airline safety cards. I've always been enamored by these in-flight comic books across airlines and decades. It's an interesting time capsule, from the clothes that the faceless figures wear, to the models of planes that were used for commercial flight, to the developments in safety protocols and laws. Certainly not child me sticking my hand in an armrest ashtray in the 90s. My dad's a retired pilot, so I spent a good amount of time on planes.
Whoa.
This collection makes me curious about how the illustrations fell into a recognizable design pattern, whether by the means of illustration and printing at the time, customer expectations, branding guidelines, FAA guidelines, or something else. They're all different, but they're also kind of the same. Pick some airlines and planes at random and see what you find. I will never get tired of seeing a passenger bobbing in the water trying to eat the Twizzler off their life jacket. Anyways, thanks for keeping my ears company as I've been going through some stuff. Be well and keep it Josie.
Wonderful.
I totally forgot when Amy mentioned the ashtrays that were in the seats. I had I was immediately little again, like shoving my finger in there and opening and closing and opening and closing.
Yeah, it's true.
Like that thing was a toy.
It was.
Did you ever
awesome.
read those? Like I still to this day, I like pulling those out and looking at the cartoons.
I always just think of Fight Club where he's like, oh, he's like, the plane is going down at like 800 miles an hour to crash. And he's like, look at their faces, calm as cows. And then they replace it in Fight Club with people who are like screaming and freaking out. And they're like, this is much more accurate.
We should replace that. Here's what it's going to look like when you're crashing.
You can get a sketch courtroom artist to draw like the Charles Manson style thing of people like freaking out,
flying down, or as Send Help had last night, getting ripped out of the window and then hung by their tie.
Funniest thing ever. Yeah,
I was laughing,
and then banging on the window, and then she like closes the thing.
She's like, oh, doesn't want to look at that. No, that movie's insane.
Yeah,
the way people die. Anyway, if you all also go on.
No, you do it. No,
I was going to say, if you also want to write in with one of your recently closed tabs or recent rabbit holes that you've been down, you can do it at 500opentabs@gmail.com. That's 500. And you can follow us the same name on Blue Sky and Instagram. And you can follow me at Hannah Hillam and Kaveh at...
I'm PermaFriends on Instagram and Kaveh on Blue Sky. Thank you, Hannah, for listening. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week with more fun tabs to close.
That's the point of the podcast. We never actually say it, but what we do is we open a tab and close it, and that's the point of it. So
that's the point. In the meantime, keep the people of Iran in your hearts. And
stay Josie.
Stay Josie. Keep it Josie. Keep it Billy Bob.
Shout out to my Josie who just got ear surgery. So I want to say keep it Josie because she's
not going to be listening to this.
She can't hear this. She had. I hope your ears are good. Salute. Anyway, well, what?
Bye.
So you're still here? Why are you still here? What do you want?